You sit in traffic, the dashboard warm under your hands, coffee steaming beside you. The sun peeks over the rooftops, turning identical lawns and cul-de-sacs golden. Around you, brake lights flare in a steady pulse, cars inching toward work, school drop-offs, soccer practice, a river of morning routines stretching as far as the eye can see. Every morning, millions of Americans make the same small mechanical gesture. A key turns, a button clicks, an engine answers, garages open, cars roll out. The world reshapes itself around that movement. The places built for privacy and space created something else as well. Distance. The distance we travel shapes how we live, what it costs, and what it quietly rearranges. Time, attention, bodies, relationships. It asks a simple question. When so much of life is spent moving between places, what does that motion take from us? Imagine it's 1950. A young family stands on a front lawn, faces bright with hope, clutching a mailbox flag like a small triumph. Levittown-style developments promise affordability. A yard, a separate bedroom for every child, and a future built on predictability. The hum of possibility drifts from freshly paved streets, where neighbors have yet to meet and picket fences still smell of new paint. In this moment, the suburban dream feels tangible, as if it could be measured in lawns and doorsteps, each one a step toward a life imagined. At the same moment, steel crews cut through hills for ribbons of concrete, highways whose sweeping curves promise speed and connection. The Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956 dutifully pours money into those ribbons, funding an interstate web more than 40,000 miles long. Overnight, maps change. Distances that once implied a day's travel now become the new daily commute. Cities that had been dense and mixed begin to thin as people move outward. By 1970, suburbs were home to the majority of Americans. Over subsequent decades, that outward push didn't slow. Suburbs expanded faster than cities, and rural areas combined. Scholars of civic life noticed something more than a move of population. Robert Putnam and others observed a decline in the casual interactions that bind communities. Chance encounters at the corner store, prolonged conversations after a church service, people lingering on stoops. When daily life is parceled into specialized zones, homes here, offices there, shops over there, the architecture of everyday life reduces opportunity for those small, cumulative moments. Policy choices and private incentives layered on top of each other. Developers found it efficient to build outward. Cheaper land, predictable lot sizes, government subsidized roads and mortgages. The result was a landscape organized for a particular mode of travel, the private car. And as destinations spread, driving became not just convenient, but necessary. Numbers can feel abstract, miles, minutes, stoplights, until they accumulate into hours and evenings spent moving between places. Each trip leaves a trace on how we live, where we spend our attention, and what we carry with us along the way. The average one-way commute across the United States sits around 26 to 28 minutes. It sounds reasonable until you multiply. Nearly an hour each workday, 5 days a week. In large metro regions, Los Angeles, Houston, New York, many people spend 30 minutes or more each direction. The Texas A&M Transportation Institute translates congestion into time and money, estimating that the average commuter loses over 50 hours a year sitting in delays. Think of that, more than a week of waking hours set aside for waiting. Those hours are not neutral. Economists and social scientists link longer commute times with measurable declines in life satisfaction. For many, lost commute time is unpaid and unrecoverable. It's time that doesn't go to sleep. Exercise, a book, or a neighborly visit. It disappears between front door and office door, often without notice. A parent's hands grip the steering wheel, eyes squinting against the harsh sun. The engine idles as the light refuses to change. It's a quiet reminder, being present isn't just about being nearby. It's about the time and focus we give to those moments. The miles in between can quietly claim both. Time is the ultimate scarce resource. If you treat the day like a ledger, commuting writes a meaningful debit. Social science research shows that when travel time exceeds certain thresholds, often around 30 to 45 minutes, people participate less in neighborhood organizations, volunteer less, and attend fewer community events. Putnam's work suggests that each additional 10 minutes on the road correlates with a measurable drop in social capital involvement, less attendance at PTA meetings, fewer volunteer hours, fewer conversations after worship. Those lost minutes translate into smaller things that matter: a canceled dinner with friends, a missed parent-teacher conference, an hour that could have been a walk or a nap. The substitution is insidious because it often comes in small increments, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, but adds up to a life scheduled around arrival times, not moments. A commuter's jaw clenched, shoulders tight, a hand rubbing a temple. The road carries a steady, low-grade tension that seeps into the body. Minutes stretch into miles, and the strain settles in before the day has even begun. Studies in public health link longer commutes to higher body mass index, elevated blood pressure, and reduced physical activity. The time the car takes is time away from walking, bicycling, or other movement. Commuting displaces the casual exercise built into denser urban living. The walk to a transit stop, the stroll to a corner store, the bike ride to a friend's house. Over time, those small, ordinary movements once woven into daily life begin to disappear. Mental health is affected as well. Research shows higher anxiety and lower life satisfaction among long commuters. The cognitive load of driving, constant vigilance, decisions compressed into split seconds, stress from delays, keeps the nervous system in a heightened state. Even good commutes, where traffic flows, can be fatiguing when repeated every day for years. The physiological effect compounds. Chronic low-level stress contributes to sleep disruption, poorer immune function, and less emotional availability for relationships. Now observe a street designed for speed, wide lanes, large setbacks, no sidewalks. Parking lots dominate where shop fronts might otherwise be. Each trip requires pushing a door open, starting a vehicle, and occupying asphalt. The built environment itself nudges people toward isolation. The Congress for the New Urbanism and other advocates argue that zoning that separates uses, housing, commerce, employment, diminishes incidental social contact. In walkable neighborhoods, the accumulation of small interactions, an exchanged nod with a neighbor, a queue at a coffee shop, builds a web of familiarity and trust. In car-dependent places, those interactions are replaced by silhouette glimpses through windshields. Comparative studies show residents of walkable areas report stronger community ties, higher levels of trust, and more everyday social engagement. The architecture of a place shapes what is possible. When streets are scaled to people, human contact increases. When streets are scaled to cars, people recede into private capsules. A child buckles into a car seat. Small hands, a mismatched sock, school drop-offs, soccer practices, music lessons, all ordered into a choreography of pickups and drop-offs. For many children, the car becomes the default space of mobility. Here, between stoplights and back seats, childhood is measured in miles rather than minutes. Free-range play children wandering a block to a friend's house, exploring a cul-de-sac, declined as streets became faster and sightlines favored speed over surveillance. When roads are designed for 35 or 45 miles per hour, parents reasonably feel streets are unsafe for unsupervised wandering. So play becomes scheduled, supervised, transported. That shaping has developmental consequences. Children spend hundreds of hours each year in transit rather than in unstructured outdoor play. Teen independence often waits for a driver's license. Without the ability to walk or bike to meetups, social lives are structured around adult availability and vehicle access. Empty gas cans, monthly statements, an odometer rolling past 60,000 miles. Transportation sits near the top of household budgets, often second only to housing. For many families in the suburbs, multiple vehicles are not a luxury but a necessity. Car payments, insurance, fuel, maintenance, and depreciation add up. Beyond personal budgets, sprawl nudges public finances. Low-density infrastructure costs more per household. Longer stretches of road, extended water and sewer lines, more miles of utility poles. Every dispersed development spreads responsibilities and maintenance costs over larger areas, straining municipal budgets and sometimes shifting burdens back to taxpayers. These economic realities influence choices. For lower-income households, long commutes mean less disposable income and fewer opportunities for economic mobility. Time spent in traffic is time not available for additional work, education, or entrepreneurial efforts, magnifying inequality. From above, the highways look like veins carrying fumes. Transportation accounts for a substantial share of greenhouse gas emissions in the United States. Passenger vehicles are a major piece of that puzzle. Sprawl increases vehicle miles traveled per capita. The further you live from daily needs, the more fuel you burn. Even as electric vehicles become more common, benefits are partial. Electrification reduces tailpipe emissions, but not the land consumption that comes with sprawl. Parking, heat islands, and habitat fragmentation remain. The environmental story is also a land story. Forests and fields converted into subdivisions, impervious surfaces expanding, water cycles altered. Construction crews widen a freeway. a new lanes open banner unfurls. At first, traffic seems to breathe easier and drivers rejoice. Yet, transportation researchers have documented a counterintuitive effect known as induced demand. More roadway capacity often leads to more driving. When roads get wider, people who avoided peak travel might start using the route again. Developers cite new projects farther out, confident in improved access. Trip making increases until congestion returns to prior levels or worse. Capacity expansion can be a short-term relief that fuels long-term sprawl. The cycle reinforces itself. Build, travel expands, build more. Understanding induced demand reframes common policy responses. It's not enough to add pavement and expect congestion to vanish. The network is adaptive. Human behaviors and markets shift to fill available space. A dinner table holds a single uneaten plate. One partner enters late, burdened by the weight of the day. The pressure of limited time erodes connection. Long commutes are linked to lower relationship satisfaction and a greater risk of breakup. In a Swedish longitudinal study, couples experienced higher separation rates when one partner's commute surpassed 45 minutes. Fatigue and lack of time affect more than just shared meals. They chip away at small daily rituals, bedtime stories, chats while grocery shopping, evening walks together. Emotional energy dwindles after long drives. Patience shrinks, and conflicts grow more frequent. The commute acts like an unseen third presence, claiming hours that could have nurtured home life. There is a different kind of street. Narrow storefronts close to sidewalks, benches, trees, and people moving at varied speeds. Mixed-use development stitches housing, shops, and offices closer together. Transit-oriented planning layers, homes near rail stops, and high-frequency bus corridors. When destinations are proximate, choices change. Cities like Portland implemented urban growth boundaries and early investments in light rail. The results are not perfect, but they illustrate a different trajectory. Slower outward expansion, more compact neighborhoods, and predictable transit options. WalkScore and similar measures consistently show that compact neighborhoods produce more walking and less driving. Residents in denser, mixed neighborhoods often report more daily activity and higher satisfaction with local social life. Design is not destiny, but it nudges outcomes. Zoning reform, complete streets, and investment in quality transit change the calculus of daily life. Proximity restores optionality. Spontaneous visits, quick errands on foot, or a late walk after dinner become feasible again. Then a new and unexpected experiment arrived. Remote work on a massive scale. During the COVID-19 pandemic, millions of commutes vanished overnight. Streets emptied, morning engines stayed off. For many workers, remote or hybrid arrangements restored hours once lost to travel. Surveys suggest that these workers reported improved work-life balance, more sleep, more family time, and more exercise. Some people used commute time for hobbies or community activities. The sudden reduction in vehicle trips also offered a glimpse of potential environmental benefits. Remote work is not a universal fix. It depends on occupation, housing conditions, and caregiving responsibilities. But it revealed an important truth. The commute isn't immutable. When structures change, workplace expectations, technology, policy, behavior follows. You imagine reclaiming 10 hours a week. Picture the small possibilities: a weekly dinner that starts on time, a neighborhood walk that isn't rushed, an extra hour for a course or a hobby. 10 hours coalesce into something larger, a regained margin that makes room for connection. Sprawl makes those acts harder. Not impossible, just harder. Reclaiming time takes intentional choices in how places are designed and how work is structured. Distance is not only measured in miles, it's measured in hours, missed conversations, postponed commitments, and lessened opportunities for spontaneous human contact. Suburban sprawl promised private yards and quiet streets. It delivered mobility and, with it, dependency. But the shape of communities is not set in stone. When planning priorities change, favoring proximity, better transit, mixed uses, and flexible work, time returns. Time goes back into lives and relationships. Reclaiming time is not only about reducing miles traveled, it is about redesigning the rhythms of everyday life so that being present becomes possible again. For those curious to learn more, consult the research and policies referenced in the description. Consider walking or biking a short errand. Try a different route home that lets you notice who else lives in your neighborhood. Small shifts can add up. For those curious to explore these ideas further, you can find related recordings in our playlist or on this channel. Subscribing allows you to continue following this educational journey, and your comments or likes help guide future content. Thank you for learning with us today, and we look forward to sharing more insights in the next video.